Epic Games, Fortnite, Unreal Engine, the engine behind almost every major game today. Who is the biggest shareholder? Riot Games, League of Legends, Valorant, the world's biggest esport ecosystem. Who owns them? The answer is the same for all of them. And the answer is the very hard-to-afford topic today, Tencent. China's largest tech giant, a titan with a market cap swinging between $400 and $500 billion, and the most profitable game publisher in history. Today I'm going to show you how Chinese companies conquered the Western gaming industry, how they did it, and how their strategy is shifting right now. In early 2000, China's gaming market grew in the shadow of the West. Chinese teams played World of Warcraft in internet cafes and competed on pirated Counter-Strike servers. They were consuming Western games but playing by the Western rules. Back then, Tencent and NetEase were just the middleman. They distributed Blizzard's game and hosted Valve's servers. They were at the bottom of the food chain. They're processing invoices but not making a big calls. But this position gave them something priceless, an inside look. For a decade, they watched how the games were marketed, how the communities were built, and how the live service models worked. They didn't just watch, they took notes. And by 2008, they stopped taking notes and started making moves. 2008, Tencent makes a minority investment in a small American studio called Riot Games. Their game isn't even out yet. The League of Legends is just a beta project. No one is paying attention. 2011, Tencent pays roughly $230 million to buy a major stake in Riot. Within a few years, they buy the rest to become sole owners. By that point, League of Legends is the most played PC games in the world, and they're launching the world's biggest tournament in esport history. But Tencent didn't stop there. They own 40% of the Epic Games. They have a massive stake in the creator of the Fortnite, but more importantly, the owner of the Unreal Engine. Just think about it. China is the partner in the very technology that most Western studios built their game on. They hold about 11% of the Ubisoft, with reports suggesting they want to increase that stake. And Supercell, the maker of the Clash of Clans, is now fully owned by Tencent. Think about it. One Chinese company owns League of Legends, the biggest shareholder in Fortnite, partners in the world's leading game engine, and owns Clash of Clans. This isn't luck. This is the game of the chess planned a decade in advance. By 2025, gaming is expected to account for 40% of the Tencent total revenue, bringing in roughly $25 billion in a year. Put it in perspective, EA makes about $7 billion annually. Activision Blizzard made about $9 billion before the Microsoft merge. Tencent earns more than both of those giants combined. Tencent investment logic is full of a simple formula. Once you see it, every move becomes crystal clear. Step 1. Take a small minority stake. Learn the inner workings, the product, and build a relationship with management. Step 2. Increase the stake as the company grows, but never force the control. A forced studio loses its creativity. Step 3. Act as a bridge to Chinese market, distribute Western IPs in China, and reinvest those profits in global expansion. Tencent now has a portfolio of 19 evergreen games, titles that stay active for years. They don't just see these as a product, they see them as a platforms. League of Legends isn't just a game anymore. It's a pro league, it's animated series, a music label, and a mobile ecosystem. It's a multi-billion-dollar umbrella. But did Tencent only gain money? No. Riot taught them esport. Epic taught them the engine technology. Supercell taught them the art of the mobile retention. Tencent used this investment as a school, and today they have graduated. While Tencent buying up companies, NetEase was buying up people. Their motto seemed to be go where the talent is. They invested creators themselves. The legendary Toshihiro Nagashi, Sudo, and veterans from Blizzard, Mass Effect, and Call of Duty. NetEase gave these icons creative freedom and massive founding, whether it's a Quantic Dream in France or Grasshopper in Japan. NetEase was building global creative network under one roof. But in 2024, this strategy hit a speed bump. Starting in late 2024, the industry was rocked by the news that NetEase was scaling back. Studios they backed just years ago, like Words Untold and Jar of the Sparks, faced shutdowns or layoffs. Why this sudden change? 2 reasons. Western labor costs are sky high, and more importantly, Chinese developers have proven they can move AAA hits on their own. Look at the Black Myth Wukong and Marvel rivals. In other words, NetEase went west because they thought they couldn't make world-class games at home. Now they can. They bring in the focus back, adding the rising US-China geopolitical tension, and investing in America has become much bigger headache. To understand NetEase's shift, look at their recent massive wins. December 2024, Marvel Rival launches. 10 million users in 3 days, 40 million by February 2025. it made over 100 million from the outside of China in its first month. Think about that. Western players spend 100 million in 30 days on a game made by the Chinese company. And while they had a small support teams in Seattle, the core development happened in China. The message was clear. China no longer needs the Western studios to beat the West in its own game. We can't talk about this without mentioning the third player, miHoYo. They founded 3 college students in 2011. They were an anime game company no one took seriously. Then came Genshin Impact. In 2021, their revenue tripled. Unlike the Tencent, they didn't buy other companies. They just made their own games so well that they conquered the world. In the first half of 2024 alone, they made 3.8 billion. That's nearly half the EA's revenue from just a couple of titles. Now they're aiming for the virtual world with a billion users by 2030. It sounds like a sci-fi, but based on their track record, you shouldn't bet against them. This growth hasn't gone unnoticed. China's rising in gaming is now a matter of the national security. The US government has debated forcing Tencent to divest from the Epic and Riot, not just to over data, but because Unreal Engine is used to train the US military. When the most popular game engine in the world is tied to Chinese giant, Western officials get nervous. The games aren't just entertainment anymore. They're cultural power, soft power, and in some cases, security risk. If you look at the last 20 years, the strategy boils down to 3 steps. Become the market first, then a producer. Use capital as a tool to learn, not just to profit. Trust your own talent. Analysts now say the Black Myth Wukong and miHoYo rivals are proof that Chinese companies have graduated. They don't need expensive Western studios to teach them anymore. The students have become the masters. In the 90s, Japan reinvented gaming. In 2000s, America defined the open world area. Now, in the mid-2020s, the center of the gravity is shifting again. Tencent is the most profitable publisher. NetEase is a global hitmaker. miHoYo is a multi-billion-dollar distributor. China is no longer a market. It's a standard setter. It's not that they weren't taking the Western studio seriously. It's that the Western wasn't taking them seriously. They are now. You can subscribe for more content.